One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With engines roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Yes, sir. A beautiful Felony Friday. Hopefully everyone's enjoying themselves. Let's get it this morning. All right. So as you guys can see from the title here, Mitch McConnell has been hospitalized, as well as Colorado is in burning mode. And then, of course, we got the heat dome expands. We discussed a little bit of the heat dome the last, basically this week leading up to now. But we do have some other things that are in the media, so we're going to cover them. We got Piro gives update on reflecting pool vandalism. We've been following that story, as you guys know, so we do our best to follow the rest of the stories. So it looks like she's going to be coming out and speaking out on that on the big stage. And then we have life-threatening, quote-unquote, heat dome expands across the East Coast. And this coming out about 17 hours ago. And, of course, as we know, throughout this week and even into next week, it's going to be pretty damn hot. Then we have Colorado Governor Polis provides update on the raging wildfires that are going on right now. We were just talking to you about that. Then we have Venezuela earthquakes regarding Venezuela. Inside details on government's response. Now, something is interesting about this, but let me go ahead and read. It says a Venezuelan journalist, Victor Amaya, joins live now. And it says, with an on-the-ground account of response efforts after deadly earthquakes rocked the South American country last week, the government of acting President Delcy, I think that's how you say it, Delcy Rodriguez, has counted at least 2,295 people that were killed by the earthquake and more than 11,000 injured. And this is not even discussing about the amount of people that are missing. You know, we're talking tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands of people, like closer to the like 60, 70, 80,000 mark. All right. And then we have new details on we presented yesterday the whole story about that shocking Ohio abuse case over there where they had 16 children rescued from the situation. Well, we have some updates on this whole thing. New details are coming out as we speak. Then we have McConnell remains hospitalized after being found, quote, unconscious at D.C. home. Not good, man. Listen, when you get to that point, I don't know how you can be a representative for anything. I mean, you're not even conscious. You know what I mean? Like, dude, yeah, it's time to retire, bro. It's time to retire. It's time to hang it up. Then we have Mamdani on the America 250 just this morning coming out 17 minutes ago from Mamdani. NYC Mayor Mamdani delivers a speech for all of us. So we have that queued up for you guys just as of 17 minutes ago. So we're keeping on top of it. All right, real quick, before we get into the madness, let's go ahead and do our call to actions real quick, and then we'll get into it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it, and it's free to do so. Hitting that subscribe button is also free. This is what we do Monday through Friday, and then, of course, we have members only on Saturday morning. And listen, speaking of, speaking of members, tomorrow morning is members only live stream for us, but it is the 4th of July. People are asking, hey, Mike, are you going to go ahead and do it still? Yes, we're still doing the 4th of July tomorrow morning, the members only live stream. And we're going to do something specific to, whether it be firework fails, just whatever. We'll get into something in the regards of 250 to celebrate. And also, speaking of members, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $4.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody. But check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, make sure you guys follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, all that shit, man. Politics. And listen, we also have a Discord server for all of you legends to make sure that we continue the conversation. Make sure you guys go in the video description down below, and that's where you will find that invite link. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that you guys can donate to that are scrolling around the screen somewhere for you guys. And I get 100% of the proceeds. And, of course, we'll still read out loud anything that comes our way, just like a normal super chat. We've got our email up. We'll always be scanning. Now, quick little side note. 2 minutes before we ended the live stream yesterday, Virginia Chaos sent in a massive donation on Cash App, $60 Cash App, and I missed it. Fuck. But we're calling it out now, so I very much appreciate you guys, sir. Thank you for the 60 spot yesterday, right as we were ending. And then Virginia Chaos this morning right now is already sending out 2 gifted memberships so far. Very much appreciate that, by the way. Not only helping me, but 2 others so far in the IWF, man. So I very much appreciate that. All right. Good morning to everybody, man. We got Bill Castle over there in the state of Washington, my man. Good morning to you. We got Virginia Chaos as always. We got Rabbit of Chaos as well. Good morning to you. Let's see. We've got Easy Frank. Yes, sir. We got Hedgie saying, leave a big like. That's a fact, by the way. Appreciate you. Good morning. We got Pablo in here as well as Naomi. Good morning to you as well. Good morning. Good morning. We got Motobomb Virginia. Yes, sir. We got Steve Easy as well. Always appreciate you guys. We're rolling on down. We got No Grow in the building as well as Barbie. Good morning to you. We got Miss Lotus as well. Appreciate the ladies for hanging out with us this morning. We got Jeff in here as well. Good morning to you. We got Steve Posey. Yes, sir. We're scrolling on down as fast as humanly possible. We got KP, my man. Always appreciate you. We got Gary as well. And, man, you guys are on it this morning. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. That's a fact, by the way, Jack. We got Texas Gidget, by the way, saying howdy, Mike and IWF from Texas. Shout out to Texas, as always. All right, let's go ahead and pretty much get right into the madness. Piro gives an update on the reflecting pool vandalism. The last, week and a half, 2 weeks, we've been kind of following the story. When it was breaking, and then some emerging details that came out with the video footage and all that stuff. So that's where we kind of left off, where we don't really know more than that. So now Piro's coming out, and we're going to be hearing some of the details of what's going on over there. So let's go ahead and figure out what's happening here. We'll get ourselves an update. We're not going to play the whole thing either, by the way.
Both of them part of the...
Man, she's just got one of those, smoked a whole carton in a day, every day for 60 years.
The Superior Court Division of my office, along with Damon Hagan, who is the solicitor for the Department of Interior, and Deputy Chief David Lamond from the Department of Parks, from the Parks Police Department. Did I get over? Yeah. And today, I thought it was important to call this press conference because one of the most offensive images that I hold in my mind are the images of national monuments that are being defaced, roped, torn down, graffitied, and damaged by individuals. I have a vivid memory of this happening several years ago and over time, where our national monuments and statues are being torn down, and this is not the way of a civil...
I totally missed opportunity right there. At Waffle House specific. Yes. Now my man's talking.
...society. It is anarchy. And our nation has weathered moments of anarchy and chaos in the past, and individuals have made a decision, many of them, to destroy and to damage national monuments, not taking into account the fact that the rest of the nation considers these monuments important and necessary to our history. But this unchecked vandalism and
vandalism of any kind onto any of these monuments is, to me, just retarded. I don't know why you would want to do that as an American, whether you agree or disagree. I just don't understand.
civil disorder turns into criminal behavior, and that's why we're here today. They are an affront to the dignity of our shared history, and we will not allow our sacred monuments to be roped off, defaced, or diminished, or in any way impacted by disgruntled individuals who think that they, and not the rest of the nation, have the right to decide what should happen. These landmarks and monuments belong to all of us, and they must be protected for generations to come. And the president, when he came here in his executive order to make D.C. safe and beautiful, brought in a fresh injection of resources, both for my office and for all of law enforcement, to make D.C.
I'm sure of everyone's office in D.C.
safe. And the other part of that executive order was to make D.C. beautiful. And as part of that, in anticipation of the celebration of 250 years of American history, the president, as you heard from him, has been able to improve and to clean up 50 parks, more than 48 monuments that have been repaired, 22 fountains.
Damn, 48 monuments have been repaired. Holy shit. And how many fountains?
50 parks, more than 48 monuments that have been repaired, 22 fountains have been returned to
22 fountains and 50 parks as well.
Service. And these monuments and fountains must be protected, and those who decide that they want to do harm will be held accountable. Just as
Mr. Jack Telcott, my man, good morning to you, kind sir. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning. I definitely know that we are enjoying our Felony Friday this morning. Absolutely. Good morning.
they have been held accountable.
Happy early 4th to everybody.
In so many of the press conferences that you have been in this room to witness. D.C. has experienced a renaissance like it has never experienced before in both safety and in beauty. Today is about accountability for damaging a national resource, a national treasure, and that is the reflecting pool that runs.
Oh, hell no, Barbie. If I saw some shit like that for the very first time I went to any establishment, yeah, it'd be over. I'd be like, yeah, we're done going to these things. I'm sorry that you went and had a bad experience like that, Barbie. That sucks. Because Waffle House is not the worst of the worst. It's just something I don't go out of my way for. We got Josh Phillips in the building, by the way. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning.
From the Washington Monument to the Lincoln Memorial, which is, of course, a symbol of D.C.'s beauty and history. Now, it was recently renovated with significant funds and investments. Any tampering undermines that. And make no mistake, if anyone decides they want to damage that, whatever they think their reason is, or whether they think it's justified, or
3 a.m. stops, that's what it's meant for.
Whether they think it's not important, will be held to account. This is a priority not only for the president, but for...
Wow, Penguin Posse, it's been a minute. Hopefully you're enjoying. And listen, I see that you said because of work, so I totally get you, man. Make sure you be safe out there. Always appreciate you. We'll see you on the flip side.
For myself as well. So... today, a grand jury has returned a felony indictment against a defendant, David Hearn, for felony destruction of property, for which he faces 10 years in prison. The indictment is in response to an incident that occurred on June 19th of 2026, in which the defendant Hearn ripped a piece of recently installed sealant on the bottom of the reflecting pool at the Lincoln Memorial. The evidence shows, and we will prove beyond a reasonable doubt, that Hearn willfully destroyed property at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. This was a deliberate act to damage the reflecting pool at the National Mall that members of the National Park Service actually have worked hard to restore and have witnessed.
Well, I'm sure, and probably a lot of money. I can't imagine how much money it took to get like 50 parks in order to get 24 fountains or whatever it was, and 48 whatever monuments. It's got to be a lot of money.
By Hearn's own admission, on June 19th, he reached down into the pool. Our evidence further shows that the National Park...
Well, we saw like a lady. The only video I saw of someone putting their hand in and actually doing something. You can tell that they've got like a razor or something, and you can see that they're like digging and pulling and But I only saw one person, and it was like one lady. It was like a chick, and then there was a few people standing around watching her do it. But that's it. That's it. I mean, they were saying that there was like all these suspects, and I maybe there is. I just didn't see it on video.
Service employees observed Hearn actually forcefully and violently pulling up and removing the bottom liner with both hands. According to witnesses, Hearn damaged approximately 2 square feet of sealant from the bottom of the pool. A Parks employee actually told Hearn to stop.
Yeah, I just don't understand that mentality there, Steve. Just because he did it, let's say if their side had done it, of course, would they be vandalizing it? No.
His behavior and stop what he was doing. Hearn reacted by shouting at that Parks employee, saying that she cared too much about the reflecting pool, and why did she even care, since it wasn't her pool.
Wow, that's her defense? Why would I even care? Because it's not even my pool, so I wouldn't do it. That's like taking the Shaggy defense, right? Like, wasn't me, you know?
Mr. Hearn's behavior was characterized by witnesses as belligerent, rude, and disrespectful, according to National Park Service employees that witnessed the event.
Good morning, Catman, by the way.
Now, let me talk a moment about those employees. Many of those employees have come from around the country because they are proud of this nation. They are proud of the 250th anniversary that we are about to experience. Many of them have decided to step away from their desks and to go outside and actually work next to the pool to witness what was going on, as opposed to staying in a cool office.
Piro's getting a little emotional. You know what I mean?
Emotional, damn it.
Is she a little upset?
Office. These are the witnesses that we're talking about in this case. These are the people who care about this particular monument and what is going on.
Here, Steve Posey, I got you. It's perfect timing anyways. We might as well get it over with. Let's do it.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Shall always embrace the process. All right, back to this.
They work long hours and they are tireless in their
TVT,
efforts.
good morning.
And they must be shown respect and not be treated with belligerence and with disrespect by those who seek to damage the very monuments that they are there to protect. And they certainly should not have to witness the
And Charlie Rose, good morning and happy Friday.
damage done right in front of their faces. The United States Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia remains committed to protecting our national resources, our monuments, and our parks from vandals, and we are especially committed to doing so in advance of our 250th anniversary. Now, I don't know if you want to add anything to this?
No.
Deputy Chief?
No.
Deputy Chief Lamont from
We don't need to hear any more than that. We got the front monologue. That's all we needed, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need to listen to an hour-long spiel. We get it. All right. Life-threatening heat dome expands across the east coast of the United States. As you guys know, if you guys have been watching this show, at least we've been talking about the heat basically rising for the last, week and a half, something like that. Anyways, they are calling it a heat dome. They have been for a little while here. And so let's go ahead and just tap in with that real quick.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Stephanie Quinu. We are continuing to keep a very...
And again, we're not going to play this whole thing either. It's only 9 minutes, but we're still not going to play the whole thing.
Very close eye on the weather this
we're
July
closed.
4th holiday because, of course, millions of people are going to head outside enjoying barbecues, enjoying fireworks, picnics, and the like. However, as you're taking a live picture of this, you can see this life-threatening heat dome that is essentially smothering the eastern U.S., and this is going to take place through the July 4th weekend. This is going to bring days of extreme heat to more than 260 million people, and some places are also expected to see historic temperatures. So this coincides...
Holy shit. It's actually some of the hottest in New York out of all places. Look at the rest of the country. The highest is New York. What?
Of course, with the July 4th holiday,
That's
where millions are
crazy.
expected to attend out.
And it's funny because I saw Mom Donnie tweet out yesterday or whatever on X He said, hey, everyone needs to go ahead and set their thermostat at 78 degrees. We need to save the grid. We need to do this, blah, blah, blah. And the amount of response that came back was just epic. Everyone's like, come on, commie, show me your freaking thermostat. You know what I mean? And people are like, hell no, that's your guys' fault. I'm leaving my shit at crispy 65 degrees in here. You know what I mean? The responses were just epic. Real quick, we got Virginia Chaos saying Naomi got the chicken nugget hookup. Holla if you hear me. Yes, sir. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. That is pretty good there, Virginia Chaos. Dropping in another 5. Appreciate you, kind sir.
Outdoor events marking America's 250th birthday. Some of these feel like temperatures could be reaching between 100 and 113 degrees. So uncomfortable and also quite dangerous for a lot of people. To speak more on all of this, I do want to bring in Dr. Heather Hinchelwood with the Fromm Center for Restorative Health to talk more on these conditions, how you can protect yourself, prepare yourself, and
I don't care about that
in between. And as always, Dr. Hinchelwood, we appreciate you joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah. I'll tell you how you protect yourself. You fucking crank your AC up, you know what I mean? And you start blasting some cold air into your environment. That's what you do. If you don't got that, go into your car that's got an AC. And if you ain't got that, go to a supermarket. Go walk around at a supermarket. All right, let's go ahead and move on from this. We don't need to hear some analysts give us, you guys need to be drinking 8 to 12 bottles of water a day. And like, no one's going to do that, motherfucker. There's only a few people in my life that drink water like that. I know personally that drink water like that. The rest of humans, we don't do that. Okay. We like our sweet tea and Coca-Cola, coffees, whatever, Gatorades. Anyways, but I've been actually, I say that in tongue in cheek, but I used to be terrible at drinking water. Ask Naomi about that. And, but I drink a lot of water now in comparison back then. So anyways, so now we're going to get onto these Colorado wildfires, the raging wildfires that are going on. That's actually what we've got the thumbnail as today, Colorado burns. And so we're going to get into this right now. It looks like they've got, so the governor of Colorado provides an update on the raging wildfires, and I'm sure other officials are as well, but I don't care about the other officials. I want to hear from the governor right now. That's what I want to hear. So let's go ahead and pull this up. And also, we haven't done the money part. Let's do that quickly.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is actual factual.
Denied.
Oh, we still love you guys. Absolutely. All right, let's get into this so we can see what is happening here. Here we go.
Protect people's homes and lives. We're currently tracking somewhere around 150 plus losses of structures. It's likely more than that, as I said, and we haven't even got into where smoke damage might have occurred. But we did go through the town of Beulah. Beulah and the school are still there. And
what's up,
fine.
Jason?
We're obviously concerned about any major change of winds or change of conditions in the future. I want to talk a little bit about a massive amount of resources and aerial response that we are bringing to bear on this. This is
PGIF,
state of Colorado secured our own aircraft, but this is interstate pool, federal assets. Altogether, we have 14 large air tankers that are in Colorado, and many of them are working multiple fires. So we have a number of them operating here in Pueblo County, but they're also hitting the other fires. We have 6 single-engine air tankers deployed here in Colorado, 15 Type 1 helicopters deployed, and that includes the 2 Colorado Division of Fire Protection and Control Firehawk helicopters. We have 5 Type 2 helicopters operating here, 7 Type 3
What's up, Rudy? Good morning.
6 air attack platforms, and 2 Pilates PC-12 intelligence aircraft, multi-mission aircraft that are operating all in Colorado. So we are getting and have and deploying the aerial resources we need. Again, the main thing we're tracking is the wind conditions and safety to operate. On the first day of this fire, they were not able to operate. That was a day of 100-mile gusts. They are operating today. You've probably seen them flying overhead. We hope that we can continue to do that, and that, of course, changes hourly. These are mostly federally contracted and managed aircrafts. Here on Aspen Acres alone, we've deployed 7 of those large air tankers, 326 personnel, 2 dozers, 128 engines.
Nothing but love and respect, Rudy. I appreciate that.
And 14 water tenders, and that was as of this morning. It could very well be higher. I'll get the update at the end of the day. I also want to thank CDOT for working very hard to get the bridge with timber supports back on 165. really within just 11 hours. So emergency responders could access that. And I think our director.
Yeah, TVT, I'm going to be honest. It's pretty rare when you get to see where New York is the hottest place in the nation currently, or will be the hottest.
Public safety went across that bridge this morning, and he made it. So we're glad to see everybody working together to make sure that people can access these areas. On Wednesday, our Department of Local Affairs in Colorado worked with local governments to open a disaster assistance center in Pueblo. I just was there. They stood that up within 24 hours. It'll get better. And what a disaster assistance center is, by the way, is we have all the community nonprofit help. They all basically have booths and desks. We've run them for a number of incidents, and that's a single stop shop.
So right now I'm looking up, I'm going to go ahead and start looking up the actual wildfire itself and see how big it is from an aerial view, because it doesn't look like that we get any of these images. So I'm going to find them right now.
Where somebody can go. They can get help with their insurance claim. They can get help with food. They can get help with lodging from the county, from the city. We stood up in 24 hours. We're going to add, there'll be more providers coming online, no doubt, the next day. There are already a lot of customers there. Again, unfortunately, many of them not knowing if they have homes to go back to. I was talking to some and hearing from some that were underinsured and worried.
Okay, real quick, I've got them. I just want to go ahead and show you guys, just from a quick Google search, I wanted to see what we would see. And this is all within the last day. Well, actually, this first one started 3 days ago. I'm not real sure about what that is, but this is all about a day ago. As you guys can see, these images right here, 15 hours ago. So it looks like it actually kind of started about 3 days ago. Wow. That's what at least it looks like the mainstream media really started talking about it yesterday, a day ago. That's when the Denver Post was starting to talk about it, Fox Weather. Yeah, New York Times. Interesting. Terrible. That's terrible news. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this back up. My apologies. I just wanted to see, like, visually how bad or whatever it was. Whoops, I just shared my own YouTube page. That didn't work. The live. Here we go. Sorry, my guys. There it is.
Uninsured. So the clients are there, people are there. People who are affected should know that they can go, and they should go to the Disaster Assistance Center to see what help might be there for them at the Pueblo Academy of the Arts at 29 Lehigh Avenue. It's open today, 1 to 5, tomorrow, 3 to 7. Yes, people are working on the 4th of July there. Absolutely. 8 to noon on 4th of July. So check it out. We'll be adding more resources, more nonprofit providers over the next day or two as well. I was able to help bring some toys for kids that'll hopefully be distributed to some of the kids of the families that are affected who had to leave everything they had at home to get out. Some of the other partners there include Pueblo Department of Public.
Damn, Texas Gidget. On both ends? Oh my God, that's terrible. I'm super sorry to hear that.
Health and Environment, Pueblo County DHS, Department of Regulatory Agencies, Division of Insurance, 211 Colorado, United Policyholders, American Red Cross, Mental Health Support, Health Solutions, Catholic Charities, Salvation Army, Farm Services, and many more. They're all there. They're ready to help. If you are affected, I encourage you to check that out to see what might be there for you and your family. They can help you replace lost documents, birth certificates, passports. Some people had to get out so quickly they didn't know their.
I hope that they get all of those things for free. You know, like if they just got burned up, like all their documents, all their special documents that you need to have, your social security, birth certificate, all that, whether it be a passport. I think that if you go through any natural disaster that something like this is where it needs to be absolutely free, where they come in and say, here's all your documents, we're replacing everything. And no out of pocket is expected. We got Legal Lolly in the chat, by the way. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat as well. We got America Uncensored, Brother AU in the chat, hanging out with us. Good morning to you guys. By the way, I haven't said it yet. We've got well over 100 people in here between both the live streams. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate your engagement. Absolutely. Let's get back to
driver's licenses. All that can be handled right there. We also have a website, disasterrecovery.colorado.gov, that I want to encourage people to check out who are affected. It's kind of a single portal for trusted information and practical guides, easy to access, disasterrecovery.colorado.gov. Across the state, we are tracking over 4,000 evacuations. I think we're closer to 5,000.
Damn. All right. That was the other number. So I'm waiting on evacuations, how many people are affected, and then how much like acreage wise are are we looking at on the fire itself? I'm hoping that he was going to go ahead and say that. But so far, he did just give us that number, though.
Across the state, we are tracking over 4,000 evacuations. I think we're closer to 5,000 at this point. I hope that many of them are able to return safely to their homes soon. And to those who lost everything they had, know that our friends, our community, our state will be there every step of the way to help them.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a lie. Everyone knows.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap,
To the extent we can.
You're just reading from your script there. Meanwhile, people that actually need the help, they always get fucking where the government just turns their back on them.
In addition to the Center of Pueblo County Recreation Center, where I train volunteers, we also have a Center for Large Animals at the State Fairgrounds, where we're having the horses and cows. I mentioned the Small Animal Center. And Pathfinder Park in Florence is also accepting large animals. I wanted to highlight that as well. Airbnb has donated.
Brother Frogzilla in the chat. My man, good morning. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your Felony Friday. I definitely know that I am. Good morning.
Homes for 100 Coloradans. I want to give them a shout out and thank them for being able to help 100 Coloradans find a response. I also saw Pueblo Humane Society, Animal Response Team, USDA, all working hard. This is an area, for those who don't know Pueblo County as well, this is an area where there are a lot of animals. People have horses, they have chickens, they have cows, they have dogs and cats.
I also wonder how this wildfire started. Was it just from combustion? Was it from someone flicking a cigarette out their car? What happened?
So this is a very important part of many of them. Families themselves weren't able to evacuate the animals, and that was an important part of making sure that we're able to get that done. We're also assessing the.
It's weird unless you're in the full screen and sometimes it doesn't work correctly on vertical for some people, for some people's devices. I'm not sure why it does that. Usually if you double tap the screen, what it does is it hits that, it brings up a thumbs up like button. But yeah, sometimes it does that too on my side with other channels. So I don't know. It's weird.
Our treatment plant, we'll know more when the fire activity subsides. We'll get a sense of the 3 water systems that serve under 1,000 residents. We don't yet have the full information on that. But.
Oh shit, man. It said it was intentional last night. He was saying, Frog was saying that he heard that on the news. Wow. And none of that is surprising, man. Fires are a great way to go ahead and get land grabs, government wise as well. I mean, it can be totally up to that, or even a billionaire that's paying some homeless people to go, start 4 different fires in the area. I mean, land grabs by fire is historically what happens. I mean, even just look at what the Palisades fires were all about. The last ones, the last big one. That was a total land grab by the government.
We do know it was affected by the fire. You've noticed the air quality, of course.
And if it wasn't a land grab from the government, it was a land grab from a billionaire of some sort.
Across our state in different areas, our Department of Public Health and Environment has put out a warning. If you're sensitive to air quality, if you're older, if you have breathing problems, probably a good time to stay indoors more, avoiding certainly strenuous activity outside.
Oh, that's terrible news, Lolly.
During these air conditions. You don't have to smell the smoke for it to hurt you. It moves quickly. You can check out the air quality website, colorado.gov/air quality. To find out the situation. I'd also highlight that, of course, our state is very much open for business. Some of the areas in Lake and Summit County wanted to highlight that this is tourism season. Obviously, don't go near the fires, but we do receive a lot of families that
no doubt, Steve Posey,
visit from across the country, and it's a safe place to visit. Again, as long as you heed all the warnings and don't go near the active fires. Custer and Pueblo County both under stage 2 restrictions, no fireworks.
That's a very good question, Jason. He says, I'm curious how many of these wildfires started near data centers. That's a good question too.
I just want to encourage my fellow Coloradans to celebrate safely this 4th of July. That's an individual responsibility that we have to support the men and women putting their lives on the line.
You'd be good. No, we always appreciate it.
By not causing more fires and more events that can lead to fires. And that means fireworks. It means dispersed shooting. It means operating 4x4s and off-road. It means campfires. There's plenty of time to do that. You're going to have the opportunity to have a great time. But for America's 250th this July 4th, celebrate in a way that does not involve fire.
Oh, man. Hey, it's the punish everybody mentality, It's way unfortunate. I really dislike that governments, and especially, do that. They punish everybody for some bad actors or whatever that don't know how to handle themselves. We all know fireworks are dangerous and they can cause fires, but then you get a few bad apples that ruin it in cities or whatever the case is. And now all of a sudden, we had one big incident. Now we're going to go ahead and shut it all down for everybody. which is whack, yo.
You can have a lot of fun a number of other ways. You can use glow sticks, and you can purchase off your local store.
Good morning.
You can have an Iron Chef competition and see who can cook things with red, white, and blue. Have fun with your family. Don't involve fire. With the winds we have, doesn't take much for your fun to turn into a disaster for many other families. With that, I will turn it over to the DFPC Director, Chief Mike Morgan. Chief Morgan.
Yes, by the way, data centers is a very interesting conversation and debate, no doubt, because you're exactly right on that. A lot of people don't want them, of course, near their house, but they don't want China to have the data centers, and they want them here so that we control it. And also, we're in an AI, kind of like there was like the space race. It's the same thing with AI. It's a race to the best AI in the world and to be the top. And so it is a double-edged sword, but it is going to be the death of humanity. I'm going to be honest. Let's go ahead and get into this whole Venezuela earthquakes. They have inside details on government's response here. So let's go ahead and bring this up. And this is going to be interesting to hear.
Good evening.
I'm really hoping that everyone's coming together, as I've been watching and seeing from the reports as well, that they are doing, people from around the world, governments from around the world have sent their resources. I mean, it is good to see that we have that.
Watching live now from Fox, my name is Alexandra Goldberg, and now to the latest in the deadly doublet earthquakes in Venezuela. Reuters says tens of thousands of people are still unaccounted for after a set of earthquakes struck the northern coast. The 7.2 and 7.5 magnitude quakes struck less than a minute apart over 1 week ago, killing 2,295 people. That's according to the latest government figures. Rescue teams continue to search the rubble for any signs of survivors. And joining me today now is Venezuelan journalist Victor Amaya. Victor, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
So a Venezuelan journalist joins in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
So I understand that you just heard from the acting president, Delcy Rodriguez. What's the latest that she said?
Yes, she just ended her first press
Man, he's got bunk ass audio. So I'm going to crank him up a little bit here on my side.
conference since she took office actually in January to speak to the foreign press about the latest updates on the double earthquake in Venezuela. She said that the response time of the authorities and the Venezuelan government was right on time, was from the very first moment, she says. That was her way to respond to all the comments and the criticism by the Venezuelan people in the disaster area, saying that for the longest time, for 1 day, 2 days, help didn't come from the national authorities, from the government, from the military forces, but from volunteers and civilians.
Yeah, no doubt, Jason. It is interesting watching how that plays out, what you're specifically talking about, these victims that are part of these things, and then all of a sudden they're you give somebody an inch, they take a mile kind of thing. It is interesting to see. No doubt.
To themselves,
I'll leave it at that.
The task to try to rescue the most amount of people possible from behind the rubble. She said that the Venezuelan government was activated from the very first moment, sending military help to the disaster zones and the
so their own military, their own resources.
The plans to attend the rescue teams and trying to figure out how to bring in international rescue teams from very different countries that are now operating in Venezuela. She said that 17,000 Venezuelan people from the government are still working on the disaster area, helping people also in the shelters that have been 46 shelters that have been implemented to.
And that's nowhere close to enough. I mean, we're talking so many people affected in this thing.
Take care of people that lost their houses and or are so afraid to go back to those apartments that are still in place. They're still up there, but not safe to go in.
So Rodriguez is saying that the government's response was right on time. But what are families that you're talking to saying about the Venezuela government responding to this crisis?
Yeah, they say that first response came from the very same people that was already there. The
Right.
neighbors, the people that were living there, the people that
Of course. Listen, if you didn't die and you just looked across, you survived through the double earthquake, a 7.2 and a 7.5 back to back, and then you look outside your you go outside your house or something, and you see your neighbor's complete building falling apart and into a billion pieces of rubble. Yeah, you rush over there and start fucking digging.
traveled or got somewhere around those areas to try to find their loved ones and then help the other people that could be rescued from
It's so
behind the
sad.
rubble. Actually, there
And again, we're talking like 60,000, 70,000. They're saying anywhere from 60 to 80,000 people are missing right now. And you know what ends up happening after 72 hours of people being buried in rubble? They become starving. They don't have people die of dehydration, all different types of problems. It's just, man, it's just stuff like this is insane. Look at these buildings here. I just skipped forward here a little bit because I'm not going to listen to everything that we still got a handful of things to discuss after this.
said by
So
a Venezuelan firefighter, and he said that when he saw the equipment that the international rescue teams had
look
with
at
them
this.
and started to implement on the ground,
Fucking so
he thought,
sad.
well, we are still like Indians. We're still with the bows and arrows in our way to deal with this kind of situation. So the other thing is not only the time of the response, the official response, but also the capabilities of that response, the capability of technical capabilities, human capabilities to try to respond in time massively to these consequences of the earthquakes. In very few, in a lot of places, people said we are waiting or we are grateful because the people that arrived were not from Venezuela.
Wow. All right. So we'll leave it at that. And he actually did a very good job being that he's from Venezuela and spoke very good English. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. New details after 16 children rescued from deplorable Ohio home. This is the 4 people that got arrested that I showed you guys yesterday. I showed you guys an image of them, their arrest pictures, and it's just terrible. I mean, what a disgrace of the human race that these people did to their own children. 16 children were rescued from this home. Let's go and bring up this crazy story because new details are out apparently.
You're watching live now. My name is Alexandra Goldberg, and more today on the House of Horrors in rural Ohio. And still lingering questions about how 16 children ages 18 months old to 18 years old were living in deplorable conditions. Authorities say 16 children from the same family.
Wait, there was 16 children in this tiny, tiny, tiny home.
Were rescued from a dilapidated home, living in human waste all around them and confined.
Oh, God.
To just one room over much of the past 4 years. The children's parents and 2 grandparents were charged with felony child endangerment. Gary Siders Jr., Gary Siders Sr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders pled not guilty in court. Joining us now to discuss is defense attorney Jeremy Rosenthal. Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on live now.
Thank you, Alexander.
Oh, damn, Jason. I didn't know anything about that. Anytime, by the way, they bring up Jeremy, he is, pretty good at breaking down from the attorney standpoint of cases. He does a very good job. But one thing that I just observed is he is an odd man with his glasses. As you guys can see right here, he has all these funky, big ass fucking glasses, whether they're big circles or big rectangles, whatever. He's very expressive. You know what I mean?
Why are you gay?
Shit, just asking a question, homie.
You are gay.
But anyways, back to this.
See you.
You too. So these adults were accused of second-degree felony child endangerment. Tell us about these charges.
Okay. Child endangerment is what you would call an inchoate crime. And for first-year law students, what you learn about
What's up, TJ, by the way, and happy 4th to you and yours as well, man.
is that crimes happen really one of 2 ways. Most crimes are intentional crimes, things that we do on purpose. If somebody robs a bank, somebody robs a gas station, somebody assaults another person, those are going to be intentional crimes, and they're going to require what's called a mental state. An inchoate crime is a crime of omission. You failed to do something, and because you failed to do something, there was a negative result. parents owe a duty to children. It's fairly simple. And when a parent fails in their duty,
Yes, it is fairly simple, and it should be just common knowledge, you know, what you should be doing with your children, of
exposes
course.
children to danger or extreme.
You know what ends up being the case in a lot of these really fucked up households is just extreme laziness. And it wasn't just that, because in this case, there's much more to this than just laziness. But people are fucked up, man.
Danger,
no doubt,
and causes injury and causes this type of neglect, then it can be sort of criminalized. And the statute is sort of broad, and it expands to include people who are what it called in loco parentis, and essentially that means in place of the parent. So a parent, a guardian, somebody who owes a special duty to a child, or it could be an adult, or it could be somebody who's disabled. That's how inchoate crimes work.
And of course, all are innocent until proven guilty. But looking at these charges, what would
them motherfuckers ain't not innocent? Come on,
a
man.
penalty look like if there was a guilty conviction?
Because it's not an intent.
Now, that's what I haven't heard yet. Like, if there is a guilty verdict here, which is going to be obviously, yes, it's going to be guilty. There's more than enough evidence already from what I've just seen from what just coverage was. Okay. I mean, it's easy for a court to figure that out. But nonetheless, I am wondering how long that they actually face being in, you know, in jail. Well, actually, they'd go to prison. So I want to know how long they're going in
crime.
for.
It doesn't really hit the higher rungs of criminal punishment. What it could be is you're looking at somewhere between 8 and 12 years is what I've seen.
Really? That's it? That's so amazing to me. And then what? You got to do fucking 90% of your time because it's federal or whatever it is, or no, wait, 50%. I forget what it is. I forget exactly what
under
number
the
it
Ohio
is.
statutes, and so in those instances, Ohio has some different sentencing factors which could potentially increase things. But it's really hard. You've got 16 children who are injured, clearly mentally injured, clearly physically injured, atrophied, and everything we've read about is just as tragic as it can be.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very sick case.
And it's really difficult to link those to any type of an intentional act. If you could, then you could definitely have a higher punishment here in these instances. As it is, you might be looking at 10 years, 12 years.
Child endangerment only gives you, I mean, of 16, I mean, that's 16 counts, right, of each thing.
Something in that range per case.
Well, does the law treat parents differently than grandparents?
Yes and no. So again, what we turn to is, what is your relationship with that child? In the abstract, a grandparent may really,
like if you're the actual guardian,
not have a duty to their grandchild. Now, if you're living with a child, yes,
right.
you certainly would. And if you are in, again, what you would call in loco parentis, then yes, you would have a duty to that child. So in those instances, it doesn't matter that you're a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, or anybody like that. If you're the guardian and you're the main caregiver for a child or within a group of caregivers, then you are certainly within that group. Then you're certainly going to be culpable. And then punishment-wise, the law is not really going to make a distinction whether or not you were the biological parent or whether you were a grandparent. I don't know that anybody's going to be able to avoid liability here
because they're all under the same fucking house.
They might be a generation removed, based on the conditions that everybody's heard about and that we've seen. Liability is pretty clear here.
I mean, not even only in the same house, but in the same room for the last 4 years.
I see. And officials said it seemed as no one outside of the family knew about these children. How will interviews with neighbors?
How does nobody know about these children? Nobody?
And the public come into play?
You don't have fucking neighbors?
As investigators continue this discovery process.
I think what we're seeing here is,
obviously, none of them went to school.
Is that there's a blind spot in the system. The system is designed to sort of have tripwires, if you will. Children come to school malnourished. They come to school bruised.
Right, and that's probably exactly why, aside from, their own weirdo control shit, they wanted to keep it at home. I guarantee that.
Children out.
That's where oftentimes when you see these incest families and stuff, those kids are not going to school because if they did, there would be lots of reports and shit like that. So
cry abuse to people who they trust. who may be outside the home. People go to the hospital. They have to go to the grocery store, and so we all sort of live in these webs of society, and there's these tripwires that really don't get triggered if everybody's just in the same house all day, every day. There's
Yeah, that's sick, bro. That's fucking 16 kids and then the 4 adults. So we've got 20 people in a small little tiny fucking house like that let's all share the same room. Fuck that, yo. I'm getting pissed off just listening to this now. All right, let's go ahead and get into Mitch McConnell remains hospitalized after being found unconscious at his DC home. All right, I think it's time for that motherfucker to hang it up. You know what I mean? Like, how many terms has this motherfucker served already? Come on, man. Like, it's time to hang it up. You can't relate to nobody. You're unconscious. You're falling apart. You're locking up when people are talking to you. I mean, it's like total Joe Biden level, but even worse, actually. It's even worse from McConnell. But anyways, let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll quickly get into this here. Here we go.
Good evening to you. You're watching live now from Fox. My name is Alexandra Goldberg. It's good to be with you tonight. Well, Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell has been hospitalized for 2.5 weeks. And according to a 911 call obtained by an independent journalist, he was reportedly found unconscious at his Washington, D.C. home before being transported to the hospital. New this evening, his team released this statement about his health, saying Senator McConnell appreciates the outpouring of support he's receiving while he continues his recovery in the hospital. The senator continues to improve and is working closely with his staff on Kentucky and Senate matters while the Senate is out of session. His condition and return to the Senate remains unclear. Well, joining us,
if we're not going to implement term limits, because these cocksuckers are never going to agree to that, man, it would be nice to have an age limit or something, man. I mean, we can't. How many 80-year-olds do we need in Congress representing the people? Come on, man.
Now is Olivia Krauth, Kentucky-based political correspondent for Hellbender Newsroom. Hi, Olivia. This has been, his team seems to be pretty tight-lipped about his condition and also what...
Of course, because it's fucking bad press for him right now.
...landed him in the hospital.
For sure. That is exactly how I would describe it.
If you're found unconscious and you're representing people, it's probably going to be, like, discussed.
It's no secret that McConnell has had so many different health scares, some of them very public. And this is the first time, I think, in my reporting career that I've seen basically his team just say he's been hospitalized, and that's kind of it. We have not really gotten a ton of details. We still don't formally know from his team exactly what happened. You mentioned the EMS call. That has been circulating around, and it's been described in a variety of different ways. We've heard a heart attack. We've heard cardiac arrest. We've heard he's unconscious. We heard CPR was administered.
So everywhere that I saw this story, they used the word unconscious when they found him in his DC home. That's as far as the reports that I've read, right?
And a lot of those things, he's 84 years old. That a lot of people are saying that's stuff that you don't come back from. So hearing today, just about 5 hours ago, that he is apparently, according to his team, he's alive. He's continuing to improve in a hospital.
God, let's get these guys out of office.
He's recovering. Man. That's like the most we've gotten from their team. So it's been a lot.
Great details, far and few between.
And you're sadly correct, Steve Posey. And we would have to, I guess, do something like that to the case where we negotiate, like, hey, we're going to go ahead and put on term limits. For them to agree as Congress to go past that shit, they would have to be grandfathered in, like you said. And then we'd have to wait for them to all die off. And then there would be term limits, you know what I mean, for everybody.
But let's talk a little
sad reality
bit about that EMS call. What exactly did you hear?
Right.
Exactly.
I have not personally vetted.
In Texas Gidget, they have no incentive to vote for that, other than looking good to the people and doing what's right for the people. But unfortunately, these guys aren't going to do that. Again, they're not going to shoot themselves in the foot.
The EMS call, but I have been through a variety of reports. It first came from an independent journalist, and now some larger national news outlets are reporting on the same thing. And again, I'm hearing a lot of different uh,
I don't know
exactly
why we
what
can't hear it.
has been, what was
There
in
we
the
go.
call and what it means. Essentially, EMS was called to McConnell's address. I've heard things that there was someone.
So we've heard from her mouth that she has heard like every story in the book, but the actual story essentially. Typical. All right. So as you guys know, tomorrow is the 4th of July, man. Big 250. So what we're going to go ahead and do is New York City Mayor Mamdani delivers a speech for America's 250. And this came out just an hour ago, came out only about 14 minutes prior to us even starting the live stream this morning. So this is our latest here. Let's go ahead and bring this up for you guys. And let's go ahead and hear a commie speak here for, about fucking the United States of America and its 250th birthday here.
And ever since, ships full of travelers weary from long journeys have passed through the Narrows, the winds of the Atlantic at their backs. When those passengers lifted their heads to glimpse what lies just beyond the waves, what did they see? They saw land, lush and teeming with life. They saw men waiting at the docks to take them into bondage. They saw tenements rife with squalor. They saw industry rumbling with activity, steam and smoke rising, a city on the move. They saw a towering monument to freedom, her torch glowing worldwide welcome. They saw New York City. They saw America. Tomorrow, our nation marks 250 years since we declared our independence. 250 years of a grand experiment in self-governance, an experiment so audacious that some in 1776 doubted it would last more than a few years, let alone a quarter of a millennium. From Lexington to
that little part that he said right there specifically, yes, it is amazing that we're at 250. Truly.
Los Angeles, Selma to Seneca Falls, Morrisania to Midwood, Americans will come together for a day.
Yes, from Mayor Mamdani here, to his own people, said, set your AC to 78 degrees. Yes, unbelievable.
Just as we do each year, families will gather around the grill. Fireworks will fill the night sky. This will be no ordinary day of celebration. 250 years presents a rare opportunity for more than 340 million people to turn together, both towards one another and towards ourselves, to take measure of who we are as a nation. When we look at America.
Yeah, Rain Song, it's crazy, bro.
What
politics today?
Here at City Hall, as I sit behind George Washington's desk, alongside new Americans who came to this country, I cannot see all of America. But like so many who came before, I can see New York City. The city I see today looks very different than the one that greeted George Washington. In July of 1776, our city simmered under the yoke of oppression. The British had imposed a colonial rule so repressive that 250 years ago, 80 miles south, a small group of newspaper editors, farmers.
I don't know, man. Do these people back here represent Americans? Holy shit, man. That is wild.
And soldiers signed their names on.
At least they are holding an American flag. I got to give them that, I guess. I mean,
document declaring truths that feel self-evident now, but were revolutionary then, establishing the ideals our nation still strives to fulfill. The British did not take it well. War broke out. And that August, as the largest battle of the Revolutionary War unfolded in Brooklyn.
It's about that they can't handle their grid and a definite lack of care for the grid anyways.
Batteries on Governor's Island took aim at British ships anchored just offshore.
Monies have been dispersed incorrectly.
We were outgunned, we were outmanned, and we were soundly defeated. After only a few months, it appeared our fledgling attempt at democracy was on the precipice of collapse. But that night, with the moon overhead, thousands of our soldiers silently climbed into ferries and flat-bottom boats and escaped to Manhattan. The Continental Army survived to fight another day. Independence may have been declared in Philadelphia, but it was rescued in New York City. George Washington was the last to leave Brooklyn. As he waited at the river's edge, the sun beginning its rise, he would have looked out over New York City's waters and seen what so many have seen in the 250 years since, an opportunity to begin anew. Those opportunities.
Now, he's reading from a teleprompter, by the way.
Like everything in New York City, are not given. They are won. In 1838, 11 years after New York outlawed slavery, a recently emancipated black man by the name of James Weeks sought to begin anew as well, and to help hundreds of others do the same. He bought property in Brooklyn, won himself the right to vote, and sold lots to others newly freed. When they landed in New York Harbor, they knew they had something waiting for them that they had never had before, a home. Weeksville still stands today, a living, breathing testament to what we know America to be, a place each of us has the power to make. The harbor was busy those years as ships poured in from around the world, Hundreds of thousands of Irish immigrants.
Yes, by the way, you guys don't have to like what's going on right now or what's happening around the globe, but you guys can hit that like button, double tap that screen for me and what we're doing here on Insane Wheels. So I very much appreciate you guys.
Arrived with stomachs aching from a famine manufactured by imperial cruelty. Chinese sailors settled in what is today Chinatown. Millions more traveled under the Statue of Liberty and through Ellis Island. Jewish people escaping pogroms, Italians fleeing poverty, Syrians seeking economic opportunity. Each of these new arrivals peered through portholes onto a city that was changing as fast as the nation. They saw merchants peddling their wares on the docks, streets being laid out on a grid, buildings rising into the clouds. They could not yet see the nativism they would face, the jobs they would be refused, the landlords who would not rent to them, and the abject labor and living conditions they would withstand. But no matter how much smog hung over the harbor, they still saw an opportunity to begin anew.
Totally, dude.
A few moments later.
No kidding.
Over the years that followed, despite laws enacted by the federal government to bar their entry, despite sweatshop fires that killed hundreds of women, despite riots aimed at their very existence, immigrants made homes here in New York City, and they helped to make New York City.
We get to hear the copium, the super cope.
Emotional damage!
Extra copium today.
That legacy of every generation of Americans insisting that the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness extends to them too, is no relic of the past. It carried millions of Black Americans north during the Great Migration. It drew hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans to New York City after the Second World War. It invited countless others from the West Indies and South Asia and West Africa and across the world. And it is what brought my family to the city when I was 7 years old. My family did not arrive by boat, although we saw the Statue of Liberty from the window of the plane. Even from the air, we could make out the promise of America, the promise of the beautiful patriotic work of rendering America, year after year, a little more faithful to its founding ideals. There is a term so often used to describe our nation and those who have shaped it: American exceptionalism. American exceptionalism, the conventional wisdom tells us, makes our freedom a little more free, is how we dug the Erie Canal and irrigated the West, is why children in faraway lands grow up dreaming of one day moving here. And yet the irony is that the story of America has so often been written by those who were told by others with power and influence and wealth that they were anything but exceptional. For generation after generation, we have been told that when the world has sent its people to our shores, it has not sent its best. It sent Puritans and Sikhs and Quakers and Muslims and Jewish people who were banished for praying the wrong way, worshiping the wrong gods, angering the wrong people. It sent peasants and serfs from slums and shtetls who were treated as less because they hardly owned clothes, let alone land. It sent immigrants from whom power was...
Yo, TVT, it's hard. It's hard to just wither this, you know?
Something someone else had. We are told that America is exceptional because we are richer, stronger, more powerful than everyone else. The truth, my friends, is that America is exceptional because here, nothing is fixed into place. The frontier may be closed, we may have walked on the moon, but the work of fulfilling the values first enshrined in the Declaration of Independence, that work endures, and it belongs to us all. It belongs too to our newest Americans, those standing here with me today, all of whom were recently naturalized. Nearly a decade ago, I too felt what you feel, the joy of no longer being just a New Yorker.
So this is totally what 250th is all about?
But an American too. You each hold a special power, the power to determine what America means. The powerful have always known their answer. America, in their view, is an arena of supremacy, where only a select few are allowed freedom, where not all are created equal. America, if you ask them, becomes less the more people it welcomes. America, they will tell you.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. Not enough for us to even like make a big announcement on it.
Belongs only to those with the right accent or the right shade of skin. The rest of us, they insist, should be grateful for merely being allowed to visit. How small they are, how weak, how unoriginal. At every moment in our past, those who led through exclusion and isolation have tried to win power and enrich themselves by turning us against one another. Division is the oldest trick in politics and the cheapest. But time and again, including 250 years ago, those forces of division,
I'm with you, Brutal,
have been vanquished by the forces of progress. As Thomas Paine once wrote, "This new world hath been the asylum for the persecuted lovers of civil and religious liberty. Hither have they fled." And yet today, too many of our leaders do not believe in a vision of this nation as an asylum for the persecuted, but rather as one that persecutes those seeking asylum. As we mark 250 years, what do we see? We see a city of contradictions within a nation of contradictions. We see the wealthiest country in the history of the world, one where children go to sleep hungry while the world's first trillionaire hungers for more. We see monopolies.
Oh my fucking God. This is just crazy.
That dominate every industry, and oligarchs who buy elections. We see masked agents terrorizing our streets, eating food cooked by our undocumented neighbors before...
So you talking, what are you talking about? Are you talking about Antifa or...
spiriting them away in unmarked vans. We see a nation whose immense wealth has been built by those with calloused, dirt-streaked hands, those who toil on factory floors and chisel into stone. And we see a nation that has allowed so much of that wealth to be held instead in the soft hands of a precious few.
Yes, it's going to be huge. We're gonna blow up some crazy amount of fireworks. We have a lot of amazing food. We got Easy Frank that sent us 5 pounds of steak tips from Dom's over there in Boston. Man, we're just gonna have a fucking good old time, man.
Yes, we see America in a health insurance industry that exploits the sick, but that is not all we see when we look for America. We see it too in the nurse who works a double shift and then stops on her way home to check on an ailing neighbor. Yes, we see America in corporate landlords for whom negligence is a business model. We see it too in the father who tucks his children into bed beneath a ceiling stained with leaks, who wakes before dawn to go to work and still believes his country can do better by his family. Yes, we
So did BD end his show? Because I was going to rate him at the end.
see America when we spend our tax dollars on bombs and bailouts, when we sell our elections to the highest bidder. Yet we see it just as clearly in every American who still believes this country belongs to we, the people. We see America each time neighbors link arms with neighbors without asking how long they have lived here or what papers they have, as ICE invades our neighborhoods. We see America each time those young and old stand in the beating rain or the stifling heat to cast their ballots. We see America each time working people demand more, not just for themselves, but for their fellow Americans. There are some who respond to those who ask for more from America with a simple refrain: love it or leave it, they say. But patriotism has never been about pretending our nation is without flaws. Patriotism is every act of righteous dissent. It is every march led under the heavy sun. It is every protest held a decade before its time.
I can't believe he's still talking.
It is precisely because we love this nation that we will not leave it. After all, who loves America more than those who have sacrificed so much to make it free? Today, I think not only of the 4th of July, I think too of the 9th of July. 5 days after the Declaration of Independence was signed, it arrived here in our New York City. Redcoats had disembarked on Staten Island. More than 100 British ships loomed just offshore. Across this city, the Continental Army prepared for an invasion. George Washington commanded his brigades to assemble just a few feet from this building. It was known then as the Commons. Today, we call it City Hall Park. There, within range of British guns, Washington ordered his generals to read the Declaration aloud. And with the world's mightiest empire poised to attack, Washington told the people of New York City what we will celebrate tomorrow: that we had declared our independence, that freedom was within reach.
Yeah, I'll try not to blow my face off this year. I'll try not to do that.
That evening, danger loomed. Conflict was not a question, but a certainty. And yet when those early New Yorkers marched toward the statue of King George III that stood in the Bowling Green, a statue—
What's up, Mama Iron Ranger? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat, by
they
the
would
way.
melt down into bullets for their young army. They walked in unison, grounded not in the pursuit of plunder, but in ideals that for the first time had a name: America. Those ideals—
Okay, dude, this guy is so full of shit. I just can't even take it anymore. I tried my best, ladies and gentlemen. I always try my best to wither through the bullshit, you know, but it just too much crap. We can't do that for the 250th, you know what I mean? All right, listen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for hanging out with us this morning. Very much appreciate your guys' engagement. Hit that like button on the way in, the way out, doesn't matter. I'm very honored by your guys' engagement. Also, the donations go a long way, guys. So I very much appreciate you guys doing that, as well as becoming members and staying members. All of it, man. Listen, we're going to be rating our buddy Kieran. It's actually our Australian friend, as well as Charles Darwin's on the panel. So make sure you guys go over there and let them know we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. Little fun place to hang out, you know. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow morning for not the more of the World's Madness. We're going to be doing members only, of course, and we're going to be doing something special, you know, 4th of July-ish, you know, kind of thing, whether it be, you know, just things about, you know, whether it be firework fails or we'll go into some crazy videos, you know. So listen, much love, honor, respect to you guys. Hopefully you guys be safe out there during this 4th. Make sure you guys drive safe. Also, don't blow up your face. Don't do that with fireworks, you know what I mean? You know, don't combine a whole bunch of drinking and blowing up fireworks. And yeah, that's not a smart idea. All right. Much love to everybody. God bless everybody. And happy 4th of July. We'll see you guys very soon. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges.